Hello there, friend. Welcome to Start Early Today, your daily dose of mindfulness and positivity. How's it going? Hope all is well in your world. Hope you're using the tools that we've been learning. There's a lot of knowledge out there, and we've been writing a whole lot about mindfulness, Zen, Eastern tradition, ancient wisdoms, and these all don't mean anything if we don't put it to practice. So how are you practicing the things that you've been learning? Maybe take time to look at your limitations. What's your personal narrative? How do you perceive yourself? To become truly liberated is to live beyond fear. Is fear manipulating your life? Are your fears constricting you from expressing your true self? The gap between who you are and who you're capable of becoming is filled with one thing. It's courage. Not the grandiose courage or the phenomenal climbing up a huge mountain. It's fearless confidence, and it can be found in quietude and in the silence, in everyday showing up authentically, just to show your pure presence to the world and become so centered and so grounded and devoted to the truth of what you are that you are undisturbed and unbothered by these ever-changing landscapes of reality. The 3D reality. Beyond 3D is 4D. Your soul, your spirit, the yet to be. So look at that which is before you with wonder and awe, and prepare yourself and prime yourself for miracles. Prepare to be surprised. And you can run into luck if you stand up and run. It reminds me of a great quote that nobody gets lucky just sitting down. So you need to go for your goals, go for your dreams, and at the same time becoming quiet, dynamic flow, if we are to put it in a phrase, to tap into this naturalness of dynamic movement and expression. So, living beyond fear. As we all know, fear are just imagined precautions by the mind. Your worries, your insecurities, challenge its reality by stepping into it and truly facing it. Confront it. Meet the challenge head on, and you'll discover that these fears are futile and it's nothing. It's man-made. It's imagined. They are false evidence appearing real. You can use tools such as the 5-second window of courage. Know that your feelings and emotions are not facts. Once you get into an emotional state, this is a sign that you have devoted your energetic beingness into a story or into a belief. You have casted a vote upon a thought that you have become one-sided, and you can easily take a step back and go back to center. That which is no thought, no emotions. Just watch it. Just watch it with grace. You can name it and label it and have no meanings attached to it. Because meanings, it can be anything. And it's your choice to impose what anything means. What trips you up most of the times most of the time are only imagined and perceived, made up impressions of what people think of you or an event. So it's just all stories of circumstances, all stories of you forcing things to be a certain way. And the 5-second window of courage says that true courage isn't the absence of vulnerability, it's feeling scared and doing it anyway. So in the middle of emotion, just be in it. Do not be afraid to feel the emotions, let it run through you, and if you allow it, it dissipates. It becomes nothing. Grief, and then you totally surrender to it and it withers. Surrender to the thing that you're being challenged by, and it goes back to its native nothingness. Resent, or frustration, lack. Surrender to it, and then you'll see, okay, I just need to do this and surrender to this and shift my next step towards this, towards a more full version of yourself, towards wholeness. In that window of 5 seconds, you can easily shift towards wholeness, and then you become, because everything happens to you, through you, as you. So relax into it. Relax your shoulders. Expand the heart and the belly. Expand the abdomen. Do some backward bending and just smile. Nothing is ever too serious. Nothing is ever too wrong. You might be thinking too much about the news. The only war that's going on is the war in your head. You contending with reality. But everything is just in an interesting place, getting to know itself towards peace, towards self-realization. So may you realize your gradual becoming as this gracious, courageous being. What does that look like for you? So these inquiries, these are powerful tools. They are doorways towards a new self. So you never need fixing. You just need to stop. Sometimes you just need to unplug, unwind. And this can happen in an instant. An internal shift of perspective. It's about interrupting the stories your mind tells you about your value or what you think should happen, how people should behave, how you should be perceived. You are perceived the way they perceive you, and it doesn't matter. What matters is how you see yourself and how are you helping the world. How are you creating value? How are you sharing the beauty that is contained within your heart? How are you expressing that? There's no limit to what you can be, do, or become. Your past versions of yourself were doing the best they could with what they knew then. And you are never the same person. The former sinner is now a saint. It's a sinner. A saint is a sinner that never quit. So you just keep on running, keep on trucking, keep on training, single-mindedly at the highest possible version of yourself. And that single pointed goal of that vision of yourself, you believe that you can be that. You believe you can be that. I demand of myself, this is from Napoleon Hill, I demand of myself consistent and persistent effort towards the achievement of my goal. And if you don't have a goal, you'll be stretched. You'll be scattered. And a scattered attention and energy is weak. You know, the analogy of the lens. If you lens in the sunlight, it can burn. if you run the light through the lens and you angle it in a specific way, it becomes a laser focus energy. So hone into that divinity in yourself, and you can imagine in your mind's eye the single-minded focus of that being that you intend to be. What is he or she wearing? How does he or she engage with the world? What are her actions? Who are the people he or she connects with? Hone in on that. And that's the greatest gift of all. To know that you are entitled with this power. And whenever you're triggered, whenever you're discomforted, if you can't help it, if you can't sit still, just express it out. Maybe it needs to run through your body. That's why exercise is so important. You can express it through art and music, and maybe you need to yell. Deep breathing. Run a 4-minute mile. Instead of suppressing. If you suppress that energetic thing, it becomes dis-ease. A dis-ease in your body. Because everything just needs to be flowing through your meridians, through your spine, through your nervous system. So through breath, you intake new energy, and through your out-breath, you let go of the things that are not of use, that are not of service to your highest possible goal. So watch where you're resisting. What are you resistant to? Are you resisting looking at yourself, looking at truly where you are? Are you resisting looking at the gap of what you really know deep in your heart that you could be? So imagine it. Look at it. The first thing is to look at it and to forgive yourself for being voluntarily choosing blindness, becoming passive, and becoming neglectful of your dreams. Sometimes it happens because the ego talks us out of it. Like, writing 1 page, it's not worth it. Learning a new skill, I have devoted 20 years of my life in this practice. It's gonna be so hard to learn. That is false. You can learn anything you want. You can learn and become flexible. I have learned yoga later in life. Maybe I'll go back to skateboarding. But I'm honing on the guitar right now. And just cooking a whole lot of meals and having a harmonious relationship with my wife. Because it's a lifelong journey. And to have a good relationship, to have a good marriage is worth it. So what are your dreams? What are your goals? So watch your discomforts, watch your triggers, watch your any feeling that makes you scrunch up and tense. Because your triggers are your treasures. It's telling you a direction. Your discomfort is your compass. It's our most accurate measure of courage and the birthplace of innovation and creativity. When you feel resistance, you're not doing something wrong. You're approaching something that matters. The goal isn't to eliminate discomfort, but to build a different relationship with it. So be thankful that you're discomforted. Be thankful that you're triggered. For information is being downloaded into your system. And your system needs to keep on upgrading. You need to expand and understand more and encompass and hug a bigger domain of reality. That's nice. To hug a bigger domain of reality. Because the hug contains compassion and inclusiveness. That's mine. That's gonna be the next article. Hug a bigger domain of reality. Let me note that down. So going back to courage, being courageous is needing no permission. The permission you're waiting for is granted by this moment right here. You already have everything within you. You're just waiting for permission that will never come from outside sources. This is the trick, my friend. We always look towards the outside, the external world. The external world is done. It already has manifested and thought through collective consciousness. That's why it hardened and the belief of the suchness of things. The chair is believed so as a chair. That's why it transpired as such. But to create a new reality, that can be done through internal work, internal imaging. So as long as you have a mind, you're an artist, because you can create your reality. You can create an ideal day in your head, in your mind. It starts with imaging and imagination first. And then the universe responds to this energetic creation. Energetically create. Okay? The universe responds to committed action and inspired action. Out of inspiration you act, not through desperation. So be mindful. And if you're in flow, if you feel so focused and inspired, you might feel that, because dopamine continuously fires up in your head, you think you're doing good work. But be mindful. Are you acting out of desperation or out of inspiration? So are you trying to achieve things to make you feel complete? Or do you feel so complete that the result of that completeness is action? See? But the latter one is more of naturalness. So be mindful. A good one to be mindful of. Rewriting your inner dialogue. We can always shift. We can always look at the other way. We can always look from above. That's my favorite, looking from above. And you'll see you're just a human being who cries sometimes, and you make mistakes. But to become attached to the mistakes of the past is futile, and look forward to tomorrow with fervor and creativity is the way to go. And you should be excited because it's a blank canvas. It's open-ended. You can become the most awesome thing that there is. But dedicate, practice. And this is where time blocking comes in. You can allot 90 days to become a writer or to become a home cook. Start where you are. It doesn't need to be a marathon. We always talk about walking around the block. We talk about fixing your posture. We talk about just becoming an articulate vessel of the divine. An articulate vessel of the divine. A lover of what is. A divine hugger of a big domain of reality that keeps on expanding as it gets to know itself. Your brain will always default to the familiar when familiar means suffering. So we like to play the same old stories. We repeat the song if we like it, and sometimes it is a disservice for our growth. But it feels so familiar, we think it's safe. So I would like for you to look at that as well. In what areas of your life are you repeating stories of deprecation? Stories of separateness and brokenness and lack and void. So start noticing the voice in your head as a narrator, not as the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are is the one who listens. The voice in the head, they're just interpretations, perceptions of all known programs that you have come across. So the subconscious is a sponge. Be careful where you expose yourself. Information is everywhere. It's in the ether, it's in media, it's in 5G, it's in your screen. So make time to go out in nature and expose yourself to the data of the soil and the sun, of green vegetables and fruits high in riboflavin and resveratrols and antioxidants. Take a shot of ginger and make a spirulina juice or wheatgrass juice. They contain information, my friend. So stop drinking animal milk. Stop consuming animals. It's not a good thing for you. It's dead. It's a dead carcass that stays in your body and it rots. It rots in your body. It's just not the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to chew. We're supposed to chew vegetables. Look at how our teeth evolved and how our jaws are going from side to side. It is meant to masticate leaves, greens, and fruits and vegetables. Okay? As compared to the carnivores, which had long canines and goes up and down. So going back to rewriting your dialogue, what's your inner story? Do you always feel that there's something lacking in you, that you could be always something better? You are fine as you are, and as you become, your nature is to evolve. Your nature is to evolve. So just have that belief. Your nature is to evolve whether you try or not try. And whether you evolve through joy or whether you evolve through pain is up to you. It's just interpretation. But life will happen whether you like it or not. Because time will pass in this time-space dimension that we are in. And it's just a fun ride. And it's a fun way to high-five co-humans. And I'm here to help you. We can see things in a new light. Maybe look at where you are positioned and where you are best leveraged to make the next move that has the most powerful impact. Maybe you have some skills that are overlooked, and we're gonna look into that. We look at what brings you life, because sometimes if you ask, what makes me feel alive, we only see the superficial level, but there are deeper levels to things that only an outsider can express or can observe, and I'm here to do that. Go to startearlytoday.com and book a call. The power of proximity. You become who you spend time with, so choose your inner circle like your life depends on it, because it does. So, who are you spending your time with? It does not mean necessarily to be engaged with people physically. It's the people you consume also in media. Podcasts are very helpful. Podcasts, it's like you're downloading the brains of people who have achieved the things that you dream of. So put that in your ear and prime yourself. Get into the feeling of inspiration. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to rise, who believe in you, not those who enable you to hide. Okay? Don't hide your shine. Don't hide from your gifts. If you do not use your gifts, it'll go to other people. And inspiration expires if you don't act on it. But remember, act in inspiration. Act because it is just a byproduct of what you truly are, of what you are already, instead of acting to be okay. I read somewhere that chips in shoulders make chips in pockets, but that's not sustainable, my friend. Running on fear and insecurity and competition. Run because you just want to run. And play your music because it's playing. And all the market behavior and market reaction and the external world, just let them be. Just let them be. Tune into the more important aspect, that which is your feeling inside and your connection to the source. So sometimes you feel motivated, and motivation has been frowned upon because it's a good starter, but systems win all the time. So you do not fall to the height of your aspiration through motivation, but you fall to the level of your system. To what floor have you decided your standards are? What is your standard of life? If you have committed yourself to this person who writes 1,000 words a day, Seinfeld did it for his entire life. He just wrote for 2 hours, and look where it got him. And you can see himself like as a, not mediocre, but sometimes you can see the normality in his he's just a guy. You can look at him, look at his performance, but his work ethic and obsession to the craft outshined the nature part of himself, talking about nurture versus nature. Okay, so even if you're not gifted with height or these things that are out of your control, you can nurture some aspects of yourself through practice. What are these things that you are going to practice? You can practice presenting yourself in a outgoing way, or in a positive, shiny, inspiring way. And that's what I'm working on. That's the reason behind the creation of this podcast. To start early. Start early today. Because today is a gift. And you start early, priming yourself towards the highest possible good, that you are loved, that you are centered, and no circumstance nor behavior of other people shall shake that resolve, that you are undistractable. You have focused yourself. And this can be done in 5 minutes of work. 5 minutes of preparation, meeting with God through prayer, centering yourself. So the most radical thing you can do is to act before you are ready. Because you'll prepare because that's the nature of the mind. You'll just prepare and you'll recognize, or you'll find out that the opportunity has passed. The opportunity is now. The opportunity is today. 5 years from now, you'll think and wished you have started today. And go through that discomfort. Go through that embarrassment of shipping out a bad article. And look at the voice that says it's not good enough. Because sometimes it's just you, and the way the market will react to you is none of your, you have no idea of it. Some of the articles that popped off that had a lot of views are the things that I just did willy-nilly. I just flowed with it. Like, article for the day, let's go. bang it. And then at the right time, somebody just opened it up through email and it touched his life and he upgraded to paid. And now you can imagine if I allotted 1 week for that article. You see what I'm saying? It's like the ceramicist. The experiment of the ceramicists. There are 2 groups of ceramicists. One is the first group was asked to make 1 perfect ceramic plate or mug. And the other group was assigned to make as much ceramic cups and mugs as they can do. So guess what happened? The group who made as many as they could got way better quality products than the one that is just meticulously overthinking things for this one achievement. So shoot for many. Shoot it all. Give it 100 tries, The law of 100 is very effective. And something will happen. And those things that happen are usually unpredictable and non-linear. And you make use of these data, the analytics. And then you get up and conjure up a thing once again. And nothing is ever in your control. The more you try to control outcomes, the more anxiety and disappointment you create. Uncertainty is the only certainty in life. So become comfortable with uncertainty. But, paradoxically speaking, as humans, we need certainty. And one thing is for sure, and one thing is guaranteed, that if you try it, that's the thing that you are in control of, and it gives you confidence. And confidence leads to capability, and it feedbacks onto itself. Capability, confidence, capacity, and they're 4 C's by Dan Sullivan. I gotta look it up again and practice it. So, my friend, we have reached our 30-minute mark. I hope I have inspired you. Please comment and participate and share with your friends. Give it a 5-star rating in wherever you might be listening. I hope I have provided value. Please let me know what you want to talk about. What are your current pain points? Where do you need help? I'm here for you. And always remember to start early and to be kind to yourself. That's it. Namaste.